You're listening to another ASCI Lounge podcast.
Welcome, ASCI members, back to the ASCI Lounge. Today we continue on our CEO update, a brand new series for the ASCI Lounge podcast channel with our very own CEO, Ivan Imparato. Welcome, Ivan.
Welcome, Monique, and welcome, everybody.
Yeah, I should probably introduce myself. I'm Monique Fennick, Australasian Supply Chain Institute. We're really pleased to have this episode up and running with you, Ivan, and your first episode last week received over 80 downloads in the first couple of days. So we're really pleased that it's probably what our members really want to hear is straight from the CEO, what's happening at ASCI, what's happening in the industry, and what's really happening for their membership and how they can get the most out of it. So pretty good start, hey?
Yeah, great. I'm really pleased, actually. I think my aim's to get 800, but that's a stretch goal for me at the moment. I think I'll be happy with 80, and we'll move slowly, as we progress. But that's great news, yeah.
Yeah, it's great news, and well, I guess it depends on how controversial your topics become, but we'll get there. We'll get down that track. So your first, So your first week at ASCI, it was a big one because not only did we throw you in the hot seat for Distribution 2020, which was a really great discussion around Industry 4.0, but we also invited you to our very first Leadership Series event for the year, which was held on Friday the 8th of March, International Women's Day, with the theme Balance for Better. So how did you like that, Ivan?
Yeah, look, it was a great opportunity to be there for first, and I think firstly, KPMG being our corporate member, need to thank them as a great site. Their building, their facilities are brilliant. You couldn't stop looking outside, and thinking, how could they work in such a really poor environment like that? Seeing the Harbour Bridge and everything else, but putting that aside, it was probably the best breakfast that I've been part of with ASCI to date, and I think the couple of reasons. I think you've done a great job organising it, so well done, Monique, for that.
Oh, thank you.
And two things, I think. One is because International Women's Day just has a nice ring to it, and people know that it's important. But also, the women are so passionate in supply chain. And combining the two, we've managed to put on a fantastic event and meeting a lot of people and getting to hear their views on the topic and the speakers that we put on. Brilliant, great questions, great responses. I suppose for me, what I walked out was it's a bit disappointing that we probably have to talk about gender equality, to be honest. We should be more talking about inclusion and what I sort of talk about fit for purpose. It's all about the purpose and who's the best to deal with the issue or the opportunity to ultimately get to the purpose. So great event, but I'd like to be controversial, and I suppose hopefully next year it's about inclusion instead of gender equality. So who knows?
Yeah, because the moderator for the event, Tanya Montezan, who's a NAWO member, because this event was partnered with the National Association of Women in Operations, correct. And they really have their finger on the pulse in terms of where the agenda is up to with regards to gender equality, and the discussion and the way that the discussion was pitched was at a very high level, I thought.
Yeah, and they're doing a great job, aren't they? They're really pushing hard, and they're really passionate about the industry and how women should get more involved and be in leadership. And it all makes sense. So I totally support it. So look, I had a really great week, and looking forward to another busy one, to be honest.
Yeah, it is another busy one because this week, Ivan, we're launching the Save the Date campaign for ASCI 2019, which is our annual conference to be held from the 17th to the 19th of September down in Melbourne this year at the Pullman on the Park. And with following on from such a great ASCI 2018 conference last year, where over 90% of the delegates said that they would attend ASCI 2019. We've got some big shoes to fill there, but it looks to be like it's going to be a fantastic conference. What's your take on that?
Oh, look, I totally agree. September is a good month. Melbourne, brilliant location. Pullman Hotel, had a few coffees there before, so coffee's going to be great. Great location, great topic. It's all about capability uplift. It's we need to play a bigger role in terms of ensuring that we provide the appropriate pathways for our members to enable successful supply chain transition or transformation, to be quite honest. And that is it's a great opportunity for us to work with our members and future corporate members as well, providing them with an opportunity to step up and be counted, if I call it, So look, I'm really looking forward to it, and I saw the video, so it should be good. So that'll launch. You were saying this week, yeah?
Yeah, this week. So if members look in the description of this particular podcast interview or episode, you'll see a hyperlink to a video on our YouTube channel. That's our Save the Day launch video with yourself, Ivan, starring, as well as Lainey Kelly, ASCI Director, and Henry Brunekreff, ASCI President. So all three of you vouching for this event and why our members should save the date. And when we say save the date, we actually mean start talking to your managers, right. Start talking to your teams about capacity around this particular date, and also the transport and accommodation requirements for you wherever you are based in Australia. So it's those conversations that we want to get started with, and there's definitely incentive in doing that because there's going to be some early bird discounts for people who want to jump on and book their tickets straight away, and their flights will obviously be cheaper as well. So all of those things are taken into account when you do plan ahead.
Great. Now looking forward to it. Should be a great event.
And one more thing to add, you mentioned, to get our corporate members really involved. And I think that's key to this event too, because we've, for the first time, put together an advisory committee of corporate members to really help us drive the content and the program for this conference so that you, our ASCI members, really get what you need out of this conference. Can you tell us a bit about how they'll work together and what things they might be able to do as a team on an advisory board?
Oh, look, it's their opportunity to have their say, isn't it? Ultimately, and to shape the event to some degree, right? Because it's all about them. It's all about the member. It's all about the members. But we're putting a framework in place to allow them to express themselves. I think that's probably the best way I can put it. And I suppose if I can just deviate for a little bit, Monique, I've read this article a couple of days ago from Supply Chain Digest. They provide weekly or daily, actually, newsletters on supply chain. And it talks about the 3 V's of supply chain. So it talks about velocity and visibility and variability, which, members in supply chain know it very well. It's been around for years. It talks about maturity, how maturity is your supply chain, measurement, assessment, all that good stuff. Thinking about it from an ASCI point of view, I think, I like to see people think about the 3 C's of supply chain, more from a capability point of view. So I'll explain a bit more. The 3 C's in terms of clarity, an individual needs to have clarity around their work, and to enable them to be successful, they need to know what they do and how they do it and why. Competency is all about, I'm competent enough to be able to deliver the clarity or the role. And then confidence, right? If people don't have confidence, that's a big stumbling block. So maybe one day, maybe we can even talk about at the conference the 3 C's of supply chain, which are quite nicely tied together with the 3 V's of supply chain. So maybe something to think about.
Yeah, I really like that. And I think it would resonate really well with our members that, some of the softer skills are really important in building the supply chain profile within their organizations. So I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Maybe if you could send us that article, we'll attach it and put the hyperlink through in the description of this podcast for people to read some more.
No problem.
So next week, we also have a really big event. It's the S&OP event as part of the ASCI Networking Breakfast Series, to be held at Michael Page in their Bourke Street office in Melbourne. It's going to be a big one. There's about over 60 people attending that, with our other corporate member, Oliver White, presenting on S&OP. So that looks to be another really big event and breakfast coming up, Ivan.
Yes, it does, and that's like you said, it's quite an important one. And our members in Melbourne that know about it, obviously, please attend and support. I think it'll be an awesome event, and S&OP resonates very, very strong with me, coming from an operations background. So, look, great event. Looking forward to it.
Okay, well, thanks again for having us on, for joining us on the ASCI Lounge, Ivan.
No problem.
We'll speak to you again next week for episode 3 of the CEO update.
Thank you, and have a great night, and enjoy yourselves, and look after yourselves. Good night all.
Thanks, and bye for now.